From the studios of K.L.P. Entertainment, this is SNN Sports.
Welcome to the adrenaline-fueled world of sports, where the thrill of victory and the agony of defeat converge. This is your one-stop destination for all things sports, where we bring you the latest news, highlights, and analysis from the wide world of athletics. Quarterbacks Williams, Daniels, May, Penix, McCarthy, and Nix selected in top 12 of NFL draft. Caleb Williams swiftly walked on stage, looked out, and screamed, "Whoa!" Yeah! Long-suffering Bears fans felt his joy. Williams is heading to the Windy City, aiming to become the franchise quarterback Chicago has sought for decades. "My goal is to get into as far as February as I can," Williams said, referring to playing in a Super Bowl for a team that hasn't hoisted the Lombardi Trophy in nearly 40 years. The 2022 Heisman Trophy winner kicked off an historic NFL draft Thursday night that had 5 other teams selecting quarterbacks among the top 12 picks, setting a record with 5 in the top 10 and tying a record for the most in the first round. Nearly the entire first half of the draft was offensive players. A defensive player wasn't selected until UCLA edge rusher Laiata Latu went at number 15 to Indianapolis. That's the latest a first defensive player has ever gone. The Bears opened with the easy choice, taking Williams at number 1 after deciding weeks ago to bank on the 2022 Heisman Trophy winner from USC. "Care, love, and support and want to win," Williams said about what he's bringing to Chicago. The Washington Commanders followed up by taking 2023 Heisman Trophy winner Jayden Daniels from LSU, and the New England Patriots took North Carolina's Drake May at number 3, making it the 4th draft with quarterbacks going with the first 3 picks. It matched 2021, Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, Trey Lance, 1971, Jim Plunkett, Archie Manning, Dan Pastorini, and 1999, Tim Couch, Donovan McNabb, Akili Smith. At number 8, the Atlanta Falcons made a stunning decision to choose Washington QB Michael Penix Jr. despite signing Kirk Cousins to a massive contract in free agency. The Minnesota Vikings traded up 1 spot and took J.J. McCarthy, who led Michigan to a national championship, to make it 5 QBs in the top 10 for the first time. The Denver Broncos chose Oregon's Bo Nix with the 12th pick, tying the 1983 draft with 6 QBs in the first round. 3 of those became Hall of Famers: John Elway, Dan Marino, and Jim Kelly. Todd Blackledge, Tony Eason, and Ken O'Brien also went in the first round in 1983. The Arizona Cardinals snapped the early QB trend, choosing Ohio State wide receiver Marvin Harrison Jr. with the 4th pick. The Los Angeles Chargers opened the Jim Harbaugh era by taking Notre Dame offensive tackle Joe Alt instead of giving Justin Herbert a number 1 wide receiver to replace Keenan Allen and Mike Williams. The New York Giants then snatched up LSU receiver Malik Nabers at number 6. The Tennessee Titans took Alabama offensive tackle J.C. Latham with the 7th pick, and the Bears selected Washington wideout Rome Odunze at number 9. The New York Jets, who dropped to number 11, chose offensive tackle Olu Fashanu, giving Aaron Rodgers more protection. The Las Vegas Raiders got Georgia tight end Brock Bowers at number 13. The New Orleans Saints took Oregon State offensive tackle Taylis Fuaga with the 14th pick before the Colts grabbed Latu. Previously, the latest a first defensive player was selected was number 8. Latu started a short trend. The Seattle Seahawks took Texas defensive tackle Byron Murphy next, and the Vikings made another trade to move up and take Alabama edge Dallas Turner at number 17. The Cincinnati Bengals chose Georgia offensive tackle Amarius Mims, and the Los Angeles Rams got Florida State edge Jared Verse at number 19, the team's first selection in the first round since taking Jared Goff at number 1 in 2016. Wearing a navy suit with silver accents and flashing a big smile, Williams gave Roger Goodell a bear hug, careful not to squeeze too hard because the NFL commissioner had back surgery 3 weeks ago. Rap icon Eminem walked on stage in a Lions sweatshirt and capped shortly after Goodell to start the festivities. The Motor City native riled up the fans before turning it over to Lions stars Goff, Aiden Hutchinson, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and Hall of Famers Barry Sanders and Calvin Johnson. St. Brown led them in chanting Jared Goff, and Johnson kept it short, "What up, doe?" An estimated crowd of 275,000, many wearing their Honolulu Blue Lions jerseys, filled the streets surrounding the draft theater and turned the NFL's biggest off-season event into a giant party. They roared when the Lions moved up 5 spots in a trade with Dallas and took Alabama cornerback Terrion Arnold with the 24th pick. Williams is the 3rd quarterback Chicago has selected in the first round in the past 8 years. Mitch Trubisky, the number 2 overall pick in 2017, lasted 4 seasons. Justin Fields, the 11th pick in 2021, was traded away for a conditional 6th-round pick after 3 seasons. The 22-year-old Williams is tasked with turning the Bears into a winner after years of futility. Chicago has had just 2 winning seasons since its most recent playoff victory in the 2010 season. Williams was the clear frontrunner in a quarterback-rich draft. The Bears didn't meet with any other QBs, and Williams didn't visit any other teams. He impressed his future team over dinner with several Bears players last month, showing them he's more substance than Hollywood style. Williams has lofty goals. He's talked about playing 20 years for one team and chasing Tom Brady's record of 7 Super Bowl titles. The Bears only have won it once following the 1985 season. A dual threat player with a strong arm and ability to improvise, Williams threw 93 touchdown passes and ran for 27 scores in 3 seasons at Oklahoma and USC. The Bears are the only NFL franchise that hasn't had a quarterback throw for 4,000 yards or 30 touchdowns in a season. They passed up on Bryce Young and C.J. Stroud last year and traded the number 1 pick to Carolina in a blockbuster deal only to get the top choice this year after the Panthers went 2-15. The 23-year-old Daniels, who played 3 seasons at Arizona State and 2 at LSU, gives the Commanders a potential franchise QB after leading the nation in total offense last season with 4,946 yards. A do-it-all player, Daniels ranked 5th with 3,812 yards passing and with 40 touchdowns. "I'm Jaden Daniels the person, and then football is just what I do," Daniels said. "So I don't let football define me, who I am as a human being. This is something I do, and I'm passionate about it." May is the second QB the Patriots have selected in the first round since Tom Brady left the team after the 2019 season. Mac Jones didn't work out, and now it's May's turn to be the man in a new era that starts without longtime coach Bill Belichick. The Pittsburgh Steelers selected versatile Washington offensive lineman Troy Fautanu at number 20. Penn State edge Chop Robinson went next to the Miami Dolphins, and the Philadelphia Eagles went with Toledo cornerback Quinyon Mitchell with the 22nd pick. Wide receiver Brian Thomas Jr. was chosen by the Jacksonville Jaguars at number 23. After the Lions took Arnold, the Green Bay Packers selected Arizona offensive tackle Jordan Morgan, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers drafted Duke offensive lineman Graham Barton.
From the studios of K.L.P. Entertainment, this is SNN Sports.
Twins sweep the White Sox with a 6-3 victory. The Chicago White Sox dropped to 3-22, wasting a 2-run lead and stretching their losing streak to a season-high 7 with a 6-3 defeat Thursday to Minnesota. On Thursday as Edouard Julien hit 2 of the Twins' 5 solo home runs. Chicago matched Cincinnati in 2022, Detroit in 2003, and Washington in 1894 as teams that opened 3-22. Baltimore began 2-23 in 1988. Julien and Jose Miranda homered in a 3-run 6th inning off Michael Soroka. Julien homered again off John Brebbia in the 7th, and Carlos Santana and Jose Miranda went deep against Steven Wilson in the 8th. Chicago, off to the worst start in franchise history, has been outscored 141-56 and allowed 38 home runs. Minnesota swept the 4-game series, its longest winning streak since 5 straight from last August 3 to 7, 2023. Julien has 7 home runs this season. Andrew Vaughn and Corey Lee each had 2 hits for the White Sox, who wasted 2-0 lead. Julien and Jeffers homered on consecutive pitches in 6th, and Trevor Larnach, Max Kepler, and Willie Castro hit consecutive singles against Tanner Banks, 0-2, for a 3-2 lead. Gary Sanchez hit a pinch hit, 2-run home run in the 8th inning to lift Milwaukee to a win over Pittsburgh and a series split. Sanchez drove an 0-2 sinker from Aroldis Chapman, 0-2, 371 feet to right with 2 outs, putting the Brewers ahead 6-5. 2 of his 3 home runs came this series, including on Tuesday when he produced Milwaukee's lone run in a 2-1 loss. The Brewers have won 6 of 8 after taking the final 2 of the 4-game series. The Pirates have lost 8 of 10 after an 11-5 start. Oliver Dunn tacked on a 7th run with a single to right off Ronzi Contreras in the 9th before Trevor Megill retired the side in order in the bottom half for his first save in the majors. Jared Koenig, 1-0, picked up the win, getting through the 7th unscathed after allowing 2 hits and a walk. Jose Ramirez belted his 6th career grand slam and had 3 hits, while Brennan had a solo homer and Cleveland beat Boston. Cleveland has the best record in the American League at 18-7 and matched the second-best mark in franchise history through 25 games. The Guardians won their season series against Boston 5-2, all in an 11-day span. Rafael Devers had 3 hits and Rob Refsnyder tripled in a run for the Red Sox. Jarren Duran had an RBI single in the 6th for Boston, which went 4-2 on a 6-game trip through Pittsburgh and Cleveland. Ramirez's slam off Chase Anderson, 0-1, came 1 pitch after he appeared to strike out to end the 2nd, but Red Sox catcher Reese McGuire couldn't hold onto the foul tip. Brennan also homered in the inning as Cleveland went ahead 5-0. After Boston scored 2 runs in the 3rd and twice in the 6th to pull within 5-4, Ramirez added an insurance run in the 7th by singling, stealing 2nd, advancing on an error by McGuire, and scoring on a passed ball. Bryce Harper homered in his return to the lineup following the birth of his 3rd child, and Philadelphia beat Cincinnati for their second shutout win in splitting a 4-game series. Allowed 1 hit in 6 innings, a third-inning single by Santiago Espinal. He struck out 8 and walked 4, extending his scoreless streak to 13 in 1/3 innings. Philadelphia has won 8 of 10 and leads the major leagues with 5 shutouts, one more than the Phillies' total in all of last season. Harper returned from paternity leave for the birth of a daughter and hit a 2-run homer that capped a 4-run third inning against Nick Martinez, 0-1. Harper has 4 home runs in 4 games against the Reds this season, hitting 3 on April 2nd. Bryson Stott hit an RBI triple and scored on Kyle Schwarber's sacrifice fly, then added an RBI single in the 6th. Tree Turner had 3 hits, raising his average to .336. Orion Kerkering and Jeff Hoffman finished the 3-hitter. Ty France and Luis Urias hit 2-run homers. Luis Castillo pitched 6 solid innings and Seattle beat Texas, taking 2 of 3 in the series and leaving with first place in the AL West. Julio Rodriguez, leading off after shortstop J.P. Crawford went on the injured list with a right oblique strain, opened with a single and scored on France's first homer of the season. Andrew Heaney, 0-3, retired the next 10 batters after France went deep until Dylan Moore, at shortstop in place of Crawford, led off the 5th with a double. Urias then homered to break a 2-2 tie. Castillo, 2-4, struck out 6 and walked 2 while allowing 2 runs and 4 hits. Andres Munoz, the third Seattle reliever, worked a perfect 9th for his third save in 4 chances. Heaney also went 6 innings, with 7 strikeouts and no walks. But the left-hander gave up the 4 runs on the 2 long balls. Pete Crow Armstrong hit a tie-breaking 2-run homer for his first major league hit, and Chicago swept Houston with a victory. Nico Horner had 3 hits and Mike Tauchman went 1 for 1 with 3 walks as Chicago won for the 4th time in 5 games. Hayden Wesneski, 2-0, pitched 2 1/3 perfect innings for the win in relief of Javier Assad. Houston has lost a season-high 5 straight and 8 of 9 overall. At 7-19, it is off to its worst 26-game start since it was 6-20 in 1969. First-year manager Joe Espada was ejected by plate umpire Jansen Visconti in the top of 9th. Elias Diaz capped Colorado's 6-run 8th inning with a tie-breaking RBI double, and the Rockies beat San Diego Padres. Elahuris Montero and Hunter Goodman homered for Colorado, which earned a split of the 4-game series. Brenton Doyle and Brendan Rodgers each had 3 of the Rockies' 14 hits. Rodgers started Colorado's big rally with a 1-out double. Sean Bouchard then walked before Goodman greeted Wandy Peralta, 1-1, with a 448-foot drive to left center for his first homer of the season. The 24-year-old Goodman was recalled from AAA Albuquerque on Wednesday. Jacob Stallings singled, Ezekiel Tovar walked and Brenton Doyle singled to produce another run for Colorado. After Tovar scored on a passed ball, Diaz lifted the Rockies to a 10-9 lead when he doubled into the left field corner against Stephen Kolek. Tyler Kinley, 1-0, got 3 outs for the win. Justin Lawrence pitched a 1-2-3 ninth for his second save. Ha-Seong Kim and Jurickson Profar homered for Padres, who had won 3 of 4. Xander Bogaerts had 2 hits and drove in a run. Yoshinobu Yamamoto pitched 6 shutout innings, and the Los Angeles Dodgers defeated Washington to complete a 3-game sweep. Teoscar Hernandez homered for the Dodgers, who matched a season high with 4th straight wins. Joey Menezes had 3 hits for Washington, which was swept for the first time this season. The Nationals scored 4 runs in the series and went 4 for 20 with runners in scoring position. Yamamoto, 2-1, didn't allow a runner past second and allowed 4 hits and a walk while striking out 7. He had multiple runners on only in the 6th, when he gave up a pair of 2-out singles before Keibert Ruiz's inning-ending groundout. Salvador Perez hit a 2-run homer in the first inning. Cole Ragans held Toronto in check long enough for the rain to arrive, and the Kansas City beat Toronto in a game called after 5 innings and a long weather delay. Ragans, 1-2, allowed the lone Toronto run on 3 hits and 3 walks while striking out 4. Jose Berrios, 4-1, had his streak of 22 1/3 scoreless innings snapped when Perez, following Vinny Pasquantino's 2-out walk, deposited the first pitch he saw into the left field bullpen to give Kansas City the lead in the first inning. When the 5th ended, and an early drizzle had turned to steady rain, umpire chief Chris Guccione called for the tarp to cover the infield. Blue Jays manager John Schneider came out to argue, wanting another opportunity to tie or take the lead, and apparently he convinced Guccione to have the grounds crew roll the tarp back and attempt to get the field in shape. After about 10 minutes, Guccione again summoned the tarp. The field was covered for about 2 hours, and when the rain stopped, the grounds crew spent another hour plus working on it. At that point, the game was called after a delay of 3 hours, 38 minutes. Asen Miller retired Aaron Judge with a runner on for his first 4-out save, and Oakland beat New York for a 4-game split. Nick Allen and Tyler Nevin homered in the 3rd inning off Nestor Cortez, 1-2, and Alex Wood, 1-2, escaped bases-loaded trouble in the 1st and 4th innings. New York was 1 for 7 with runners in scoring position, stranded 11 runners and out-hit Oakland 11-6. Miller, a 25-year-old right-hander, relieved T.J. McFarland with a runner on first in the eighth and struck out Jose Trevino on a 101.3 miles per hour fastball.
K.L.P. Entertainment, this is SNN Sports.
Grace Kim shoots 7 under 64 at Wilshire Country Club to lead LPGA Tour's JM Meghalaya Championship. Grace Kim shot a 7 under 64 at Wilshire Country Club to take the first round lead Thursday in the LPGA Tour's JM Meghalaya Championship. Playing in the morning session, the 23-year-old Australian capped a bogey-free round with a chip-in birdie on the par 3 18th. "Well, I chunked my tee shot on the last hole 20 meters short and then I chipped it in it," close quote, Kim said. "I think that's pretty cool, in front of everyone." Marja Stark of Sweden, Se Young Kim of South Korea and Chanati Wanasan of Thailand were a stroke back at 65. Stark finished second last week outside Houston in the Chevron Championship, 2 strokes behind top-ranked Nelly Korda. "I was so tired when I got here," close quote, Stark said. "I barely been practicing. Just did a little bit of what I needed to do. I feel like it's kind of similar anyway because there are just some pins that you can't go for just like at Chevron." Korda withdrew Monday, a day after her 5th victory in a row. Grace Kim won the Lot Championship last year in a playoff in Hawaii for her first LPGA Tour title. She missed the cut in the Chevron, shooting 76-72. "If I was to compare my round today to last week, I really focused on just not having too much in my mind," close quote, she said. "I think I overthought a lot of things through my first and second round last week and struggled a little bit mentally." Se Young Kim had 4 straight birdies on nose, 12-15 in her afternoon round. She won the last of her 12 LPGA Tour titles in 2020. Austin Kim, Heron Ryu and Natalie Iguseva shot 66, and defending champion Hannah Green matched Amy Yang and Bianca Pagdangon at 67. Thank you for tuning in to SNN Sports, your premier source for all things sports. We hope you've enjoyed the thrill of the game, the excitement of the competition, and the camaraderie of the sporting community. Join us again for more highlights, analysis, and updates from the world of sports. Until next time, stay active, stay engaged, and keep cheering for your favorite teams. This is SNN Sports, signing off.
From the studios of K.L.P. Entertainment, this is SNN Sports.